You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, first clap on three. One, two, three. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of True Crime and Cocktails. We're so glad that you're here. As always, I am your host, Lauren Ash, and as always, I am joined by my co-hostess with the mostess, Christy Oxborrow. How you feeling?
Physically like trash, but emotionally, I'm on a high. I'm jazzed to be here.
Well, what I love is we're in our Love Actually cosplay. If you hear any
Mhm.
weird rustling for the first little bit, it's because I'm holding up my prop, which is I've created a mock TV set. And for those listening, not watching, we'll of course post these photos of these costumes
Of
on our socials.
course.
But I am dressed as Keira Knightley's character with her groom, Peter, which I've also done a cutout of here. It's the moment where she's watching herself on the TV and goes, "I look quite pretty." That's the moment that I've done. Now, unfortunately, I
Mhm.
do have the podcast headphones on because I've learned tonight that on Zoom I can't use my AirPods. So well, listen, it is what it is. Now, that being said, Christy Oxborrow has done the absolute brilliant move of picking a costume that required headphones.
It did. It did. Oh, and that's
Ah, you're,
yeah.
she's of course, well, listen, you can explain it yourself. I don't need to do it for you.
Oh, quite simply put, I'm Colin Firth in the moment where he's learning a language for a woman.
Yes.
I I can't. I did when we were because I mean we do this every year and I was like, shit, who am I gonna be? And I kind of did a really quick like scrub through the movie and I saw this moment and I was like, oh my God, his headphones look like my headphones. I would only need the outfit because I've already got the wig. Didn't end up having the wig I thought I did, so I've had to make do. But my husband helped me with the beautiful subtitles, and away we go.
What I love is that we both have chosen things that are very outside of the box and it's
Yeah,
all about the production value. So for you, it's
yeah,
making the subtitles. For me, it's making this TV. I think other than our first year, where we are, of course, we're both the little Spider-Man,
of
which
course.
was unbelievable that we surprised each other with the same costume. I
Yes.
think this is my favorite year because what I like is that we're at
Oh,
the same level. We've both thought outside the box. We've constructed something interesting and creative. I really think we've both 12 out of 10 nailed it out of the park.
100%. Oh,
Because
again,
sometimes
there's a
in
reason I'm
years,
jazzed.
yeah, in years past, like you paper mached an octopus
I
head.
did. I
It
did.
is a lot of legs, David.
Thank you.
And I think that was the year that I was like the little boy in pajamas, and I was like, God, I need to step it up next year because I'm nowhere near as much effort as her. So the next year was the year that I did Judy, and I
Yeah.
constructed the body of a man with hands, which
Mm-hmm.
was Jack,
You did.
holding my boobs from behind. And then you were the little boy dressed as the penguin, which is a deep cut.
It is a
But
very deep
again,
cut.
my costume had a lot more like moving
Yeah,
parts. And so this year we've met at the exact same place and I
we
could not be
have.
happier about it.
We have. I mean, look, at some break, is this wig coming off? Yes,
Look, if you aren't, I'm putting down the TV prop. I've got
of
to, it's just,
course.
it's in the way. I'm ADHDing myself. But yeah, if you're not doing part of this record in a wig cap only, are
Oh,
we,
yeah, we're not
are
even
we
gonna want it.
true crime and cocktails?
Yeah, we're not even gonna want it at that point. We just need a moment where just pieces start to come off.
Listen, I love it. I love the moment you chose. I love the subtitles.
Oh
What
yeah,
do
I was like, I can't do it without the subtitles. I'm just gonna have to figure out a way,
It's
and
brilliant.
it works. It works.
It's
It
brilliant.
means no ring light because that would have just reflected way more, but I was like, it'll work.
Yes.
It works.
Sharky.
No sharks.
Yeah. Now listen, this is of course I've skipped to I've missed the beginning. This is Holiday Hootenanny 5 Dead Men Tell No Tales. This is an annual tradition if you're new to the show.
Ooh,
Um we of course we started doing the hoot first year. First year that we did the
yeah.
podcast. Then second year was Holiday Hootenanny 2.
I don't think we gave it a name that year. We wanted to.
Didn't we?
I mean, you constantly referred to it as Electric Boogaloo.
Of course. Thank you very much. So it was Holiday Hootenanny 3 Tokyo Drift,
Yes.
then Holiday Hootenanny 4.
Live Free or Die Hard.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. And of course, Holiday Hootenanny 5 Dead Men Tell No Tales. It is probably my favorite bit that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, my vote was for Holiday Hootenanny 5 Breaking Dawn Part 2.
I loved it, and to me
Yeah.
that is the funnier choice, but we ultimately felt like it would be confusing that we were saying 5 and part 2, and then people are gonna be like,
Yeah.
if they don't automatically get the joke, then they'll be like, "Where's part 1? Did I miss it?"
Yeah.
So but that one lives in my heart.
Oh, yes. Of course it does. It just, they can't always be the one that you initially are like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, no, no, you've got to take a step back,
Yeah.
look at it from the right angle, and away you go.
And listen, for those again who are maybe new to the hoot, um, we really lean into we do holiday cocktails, we play
We
a
do.
couple games, we have some chit chat, we reflect on the year. This is just a pure chuckleheads extravaganza for you.
Yeah.
If you like the banter, is the point. This is all banter. If you
Yeah.
don't like the banter, see you in the new year.
And look, we gave you a heavy episode, true
We
crime wise,
did.
last week. We're giving you multiple coming up in January. So this is just the time to let loose at the end of the year.
Get loose.
Loose
Get
and buzzy.
loose.
Yeah.
Loose and buzzy, my favorite place to be. Well, speaking of that, we got to get into this first cocktail because you may have been able to hear the effervescence bubbling beside because it's right beside my microphone and my mouth is watering. I've got to try it. Now, Christy brought sent me so many potential recipes and then I narrowed it down and we've gone
Yeah.
with two. We like to typically name these, I feel like on the spot. Sometimes we come in with them pre-named,
Of
sometimes we
course.
don't. This is a this first one is it's a ginger cranberry drink. And here's something nice about this. I think if you're not a big drinker, you don't like there's no hard alcohol in this. So I think that this
Right?
might be for someone who's, you're looking for something that's festive, you don't normally drink. If you do normally drink, by the way, you're still going to love it. But if you're somebody who maybe isn't as big a drinker, this could appeal to you. And it's
Yeah.
obviously very easy to make a mocktail out of this. I love that I said you're going to love it. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah. And that's oh, that's part of what I love about this is we haven't tried these. We also
No,
didn't make like create the recipes. So I
no.
think if we don't like them, we can say that.
100%. This is part of what we do is we try it live in real time, which is why I've been letting this beautiful pink festive drink just sit here bubbling beside. So I got to we don't take a sip because also here's the other thing. We don't even know
Yeah.
what we're making when we're making it. Like we don't know if it's tasting the way it's supposed to taste. So we don't
Correct.
test it until we're on the air with all of you. So then we can
Yeah.
figure out in real time. So again, this is a ginger cran. We'll noodle on a name in a minute. Um, but let's give a sip and then I'll tell you the ingredients. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
it's definitely ginger forward.
yep. Yep.
So this
Now,
is
I may have done something I shouldn't have. I can't tell if I've made oh, that's ginger. Oh, I chose a spicy ginger.
oh,
Um,
yeah.
uh, I went with a cran cherry,
Okay.
and I don't know if I did myself a favor or I kicked myself in the ass. You know what I mean?
Well, here's what I'll say. This is the recipe: 2 ounces ginger beer, 2 ounces cranberry juice, and champagne chilled on top. Ginger beer is like, did you use ginger beer or ginger ale?
Oh, I use ginger beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ginger beer is harsh.
Yep, I'm learning that.
It's very strong. And I also just I brought these in to show you. Look at how adorable this little can is.
I got a little tiny cans too.
And then I found tiny little bottles of Chandon. I was like, "This
Oh,
is adorable."
this is cute.
That's an aside. But anyway, I don't know how I feel about it.
What I love is that you went strictly by the recipe because it was like 2 ounces of each or something. And I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm going to take that little can, I'm going to pour it in, and I'm going to put just as much cran cherry in it. Um, and I don't know. So mine's like this massive thing that
Oh,
who knows
wow.
if I'm drinking that.
Yeah, I stuck to the recipe, serving it in a champagne flute. Again, you just
Oh,
pour in the ginger beer and the cranberry juice, and then you just fill it. You fill the glass the rest of the way with the champagne or
yeah.
prosecco, obviously, or cava, whatever your sparkling of choice is. I don't know. It's almost a little too bitter for me, but I also don't know that I would
Mm.
want it that much sweeter. I don't know.
The ginger, I mean, if nothing else, isn't ginger supposed to be good when you're sick?
Yes,
Then I should be chugging it.
chug the ginger beer.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
will apologize in advance. There's going to be, I mean, there already has been, but there's going to be coughing randomly throughout this. I'm barely alive, but whatever I can do to be here. You know what I mean?
Oh, listen, you're a trooper. I just had a
Mm.
sip of this ginger beer on its own, and I think it's the
Oh,
nicest one I've ever had. It's really good.
oh, that's nice.
Here's what I'll say. If you like something that's more on the tart or bitter side, I would make this exactly how I made it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And I'm also like, you know what? I'm going to try pouring a little more ginger. Maybe I go harder.
Oh,
Let's put some more ginger beer in there. What does that do? Turn into the swerve, Lauren.
now did you go just a straight cranberry?
Yeah.
Okay. See,
I want you to,
I think that's where I went
well, I
awry.
want you to know I just added more ginger beer and that was not the move. That was not the move.
Mm,
I think
hmm.
maybe I need just a scotch more cran. It and listen, I'm somebody that doesn't like things super sweet at all,
Of
and
course.
it's a little too bitter for me. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, the ginger really grabs the back of your throat
Yeah,
in
it's
a
it's
way I
it's
wasn't expecting, you know?
it's grabbing us and making us beg for our lives.
Yeah, what I should have done was save the tiniest bit to try the ginger beer on its own. Again, I have like another 5 of those mini cans because I could get it
Yes.
in the mini can or I could get it in like the bigger can in a 12 pack. And I was like, I'm not gonna want a 12. So I'm like, my God, I'll just buy the mini ones. It is what it is. And yeah, I don't know, but I know I'll drink that cran cherry.
Yeah.
I'll drink that.
Well, now I've got listen, the only thing I didn't bring in here was the
Yeah.
cran. I wish I could add more, but you know what? Let's fight fire with fire. Put a little more champers in there, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
Maybe
like
this will
that.
fix it. Maybe this will fix it.
Maybe
It's not
this.
bad. It's like it's not gross or anything. It's just not where I want it to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's something about it that it's like, it's okay.
That's better. It just needs a little more cranberry juice. I would personally put maybe one more ounce, so 3 ounces cran, two ginger beer, and then top it with the champagne. That's what I would do. I would add another ounce of cran, and I bet you it'll be great.
Oh, I respect that.
What I'm learning is because when we get to the break, um, we're gonna make another cocktail, and I'm gonna bring in all of the ingredients in here so that I can keep mixologying on the spot.
Oh, I like
Because
that.
that's what I should have done with this.
I
I'm
like
realizing
that.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not thought that process through yet. Because again, I'm not really here mentally.
Well, it should also be noted, Christy, we recorded our Patreon episode, um, our happy hour for the month of December. We actually recorded it before our record of this. Typically, we do it the other way
Hmm.
around, but we like to film our reactions to each other's Love Actually cosplays in the moment. But
Yeah.
in that, Christy was talking about how her youngest child had a very specific Christmas wish, which is
Yes.
something that she's currently building. And then she let us know that she's in a, I'll say it, I don't think super ventilated room. And she's
No.
been painting and then put a heater on it.
Yeah, well, it was an attempt to because this room gets very, very cold when the door is closed. And so I did turn on a heater to make it warmer in here and to make the paint dry faster. So I have been breathing in paint fumes for at least an hour and a half. And when
Yeah.
we took a break between that and then getting set up for this episode, I went to the bathroom and then essentially trapped myself in the bathroom because I couldn't figure out how to get out and realized I was literally just pulling on the doorknob. And that was the moment I was like, oof, crack a window. Like,
Yeah. I think
you
what
know?
we're hearing
Yeah.
is this woman is already on a cold medication. Now
Yep.
she's been essentially breathing in paint fumes.
Yeah.
You're high on anything but life or drugs or drugs,
Yeah. Yeah.
other than cold meds.
It's true. It's been, look, this is just the way that December wants to go out.
Hmm.
It's giving me a million things to do. I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
Again, like I know that this is coming out, I believe, the 24th, and I'm so sorry to burst that bubble, but it's not the 24th for us in this moment. Thank God.
It's not. It's not.
However, it is the 20th,
Right.
which still not a lot of time. And I haven't wrapped a thing. I still have to make these ginger cookies that my kids are obsessed with. I'm I've only done two of the three kids' ornaments. I'm in the middle of painting this ridiculous thing. I I mean, I think I have to run to the mall this weekend because I have two gifts for one child that have not arrived yet. And the storm we had recently, I think got them pushed back, so I might have to have something as a backup. And oh God, well fuck me. That's where I'm at.
That's that's the Christmas season, folks.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. And that's the thing is like I've been doing so many things in such a small span, but it feels like I've finished nothing.
I get that.
And then I woke up and I was like, ooh, I'm not sure I feel well. And today I had to lay for just a little extra longer because I was like, oh, I'm definitely unwell. And I had to like pump myself up to go and do all the stuff I had to do because I can't stop, which means this illness probably will get bad. But it's like I have a Christmas in 2 days that I have to make that gift, which won't take me long, but then I have to actually wrap something for that. And then I'm hosting Christmas twice in like a week on 2 different days. And so I gotta get my shit together. I don't have a tree. This is the only tree currently up in my home. It's
Oh,
it's a
listen,
disaster.
I'm with you. I'm so far behind too, and I have one Christmas tree that is up all year round in my spare bedroom, my Christmas room, and I just pulled it into the living room. I'm not even
Yeah.
putting up the other trees this year. I don't have time. I ran out of time. It's so much work, and then I'm just gonna have to try and take them down
Yep.
again.
Oh,
Um,
yep.
so there's also a possibility I'm going to be traveling in January. Um, I'm going to be traveling in January, and I'm like, I know myself. And if I go whole hog on Christmas decorating like I normally do, the decorations will likely be up till February because I just never have the time to take them all down because
Right.
it's an undertaking.
It
And I'm
is.
like, if I'm going away in January, someone is going to have to house sit for me. And I can't in good conscience be like, "Hey, mind house sitting for me? It's still Christmas and it's almost Feb." Like I don't
Yeah.
shorten February to Feb in conversation, folks. I need to make that clear. I don't talk that way.
I
Um,
wish you did. I wish you did. Actually, that's not true. I wouldn't change a damn thing about you.
God
Uh,
bless.
but yeah, I absolutely get it. I've considered dragging this sucker. Like I think I'll take down the ornaments off of it, um, so that I don't get them mixed up with the regular ornaments. And I've considered just dragging that one out to the living room, but the living room ceiling is so tall that that tree will look Charlie Brown, and that's fine. But it's also I'm having multiple people in my home. I can't have the second they say something about that tree, it will destroy me because I'm a woman on the edge. You know what I mean?
You can't help yourself from falling. A woman on the edge. Um,
I did not think that's where you were going with that, and I couldn't be happier.
you know what part of that song I love the most? Tell me what you think about the situation. Complication, aggravation, it's getting to you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed at how often I forget your deep love of Bon Jovi.
Well, it would be especially apparent because that is Aerosmith.
Yep. Holy shit.
Can you
Again,
crack a window? Because that is, if ever there was a tell that Christy's out of her mind, it's that she's an
yeah.
encyclopedia of music. Yeah, oh
Oh,
boy, now I'm worried.
yeah, it's not great. And now I'm like, is the ginger beer spicy on my throat or is it that paint that I'm breathing in? Like it could go either way.
I think it might be the paint.
Basically, I'm gonna need to make another one of those tomorrow to see if I still feel the
Yep,
same way
yep.
or not. Look, I did come out in between the records and I was like speaking to my husband and he's like, "You're not right." And I was like, "Yeah, the paint probably wasn't a great idea." He's like, "Should I move it?" He's like, "I can move it somewhere else." But I was like, but then you're gonna like it's not heavy, but it's like, but then you're gonna have to move it back tomorrow so that I can keep working on it, and I need it somewhere where I can see it. But I also can't leave the door open because I don't want the child to see that I'm working on it. So
Yeah.
it's
I
just
mean,
never ending.
you're not seeing through space and time yet.
Correct. Once I start, smelling colors, then I think we're gonna need to take a hard look
Yeah.
at, you know,
Well,
ventilating this room.
speaking of taking a hard look,
Hey, that was
let's
nice.
let's take a hard look at the episodes that we did this year because I always think it's interesting. Christy provides us each with a list of all the episodes because and that's helpful. Because if you had asked me what episodes have you covered this year on the podcast, gun to my head, I'd say pull the trigger. I don't know. They all blur together. I
They
know
do.
ones that we've
They
done.
do.
I don't know what year we've done them. And so it's always a treat for me at the Hoot to go through the list of episodes we did this year. Oh my word. Phil Hartman. I forgot about that. That was episode 169.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many that I remember. We talked about one. I can't remember what it was recently, but you mentioned a name to me and I was like, that name, I don't know that name. And I Googled it and I was like, oh my God, we did a two-parter episode. It was like I think you said Alex Murdoch, and I was like, I don't know who that is. And you're
Yeah.
like, we 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 did that. And then I was like,
Yeah.
when did we do that? Well, it wasn't this year.
No. And
But
I
as soon as I
really
saw his face, I was like, yes, I remember that now.
Yeah, it's so funny. I had made a joke. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, it was and then it was like, this is like Alec Murdaugh. And Christy was like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, well, we only did a two-parter a couple
Yeah.
years, two. I don't know. It is
Yeah.
fascinating how they really blur.
They
Um,
do. They do.
episode
One
164, Scandal Home Improvement. Now that was a
oh
really great Christy curated episode, and that was also a fan fave, I have to say.
I look, I'm always a fan of anything that involves TV. Like
Yes.
the home improvement one, the Grey's Anatomy related one,
Mm-hmm.
I really came alive and it reminded me of how much I loved those like just that I fucking love TV, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It is what it is. I
I
mean,
love that.
the main thing I remember from episodes this year is I think it was oh god, where is it? Oh, no, that wasn't it. There we go. Episode 173. It was the Unsolved Mysteries, Don Henry and Kevin Ives, because that was the one where the medical examiner was like, clearly what happened here is a dog swallowed a human head whole, walked down the street, and regurgitated the entire thing, still whole, into a garbage can. And he was serious.
That is I remember also that, like, melted my brain. We hear a lot on this show. You
We
hear a
do.
lot.
We do.
That one really did take me aback. I was like, of all of the excuses and
Oh, it's so bad.
it's
Like,
just again, I remember we really or I'll own it, really belabored it in the moment, but I stand by it because I was like, what are the chances? Like, how big is a dog? I don't think that like, look, an anaconda, my
oh,
anaconda don't,
don't,
but my anaconda could,
of course.
swallow a human head. I
Yeah.
don't know that there's a dog big enough that could swallow a human head. Come on.
Like, whole? Like,
No.
no, I
There's
don't
just
buy it.
no.
And this man went to medical school. Like, again, I will
Yeah.
never, like, you read some things and you hear some things and you're like, that can't be real. But it's like, this man really suggested that. And people went, well, he's a doctor. Get
Yeah,
out.
this brings us back to something we've been saying for years on this show. This country is desperately in need of medical examiners. And if you
Sure.
feel like this is something you could do, we highly, highly encourage you to get into that track. We've also
100%.
said that we'll go to your graduation. If you become an actual medical examiner, you take it all the way, and you're graduating as a licensed medical examiner.
Examinator.
I've had
There's
4
no paint
sips
in
of
your
this.
home.
Yep.
Oh, your
Um,
paint is
nope.
bubbly.
It sure is. Sure is.
Mhm.
Um, my point is,
Yeah.
let us know because yeah, it's just it's a chronic issue in this country, and that is the truth. We've had that come up again and again and again. Just the lack of medical examiners. Um, it really is a thing in the United States. So think about it again. Not for everybody. Wouldn't be for me, but
No.
if it's for you, use your skills for good.
Yeah.
Um, Now, are there any other highlights, quotes, memorable episodes, anything else come to mind for you?
I mean, I do have some quotes and
Please.
random things written out.
Yes.
We don't have time to get through all of them, but like things that you completely forget about, like episode 157, House of Gucci. For some reason, we were talking about redheads. And you said that when two redheads have a kinship, it should be called a ginge ship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Episode 180, which was Linda Chen, you called me bruiser adjacent.
I have no memory of these. This is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, I also love you were talking about cosplay season in episode 187, Till Murder Do Us Part, and you said, "Why do we do this?" The answer is, "Don't question us, bitch. You love us."
Don't question us, bitch. You love
Yeah,
us. Wow. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Look,
Okay.
I love the energy. Um, at in episode 156, which was the first of the year, where we talked about Mother God cult, we also talked about that they were going to make a Polly Pocket movie,
Right.
and my response was, "Do not fuck with Miss Pocket."
Miss Pocket.
I have no memory of
Yeah.
that, but what a beautiful thing. That's why we do this. That same episode, you said award season for me is like the playoffs.
It's true. And it's imminent, by the way. It starts up in January.
Oh, there we go. Are you gonna be as excited when we don't even know half of those movies?
No, I really am behind. I there so many of the things that are nominated. I'm like, I haven't even heard of this. And by the way, the only thing that I care about going into awards season, and I haven't even
Pamela?
seen the movie yet, Pamela Anderson, The
Yep.
Last Showgirl. The trailer, I cried the other day. I watched the trailer again twice, and there are some moments of hers in there where she's not even speaking and she's just so dialed in. Ah, I
Mm.
got goosebumps. I'm so excited to see it.
Oh,
I'm so excited to
100%.
see it.
I'm ready for 2025 to be Pam's year.
It's all I want for her.
100%.
She deserves
Especially,
it.
I guess we're friendly enough I call her Pam.
I think she'd be cool with it. She's Canadian.
You know what? I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Oh my God. Episode 185, I fucked up a quote. Shocking. And I said, it's all down here from there. I mean,
It's all down here from
oh
there is
God. Yeah.
pretty perfect.
I mean, there are just so many things. Episode 164, I said Parmesan cheese is the dust of cheese.
You know what's amazing? Typically when we go through these quotes, I
Yeah.
don't remember them, but then you say them and it like triggers a memory.
Oh,
This
sure.
year, it's not triggering anything. I'm like,
It's
these
been
are
a heavy
yep,
year.
yep.
It's been a heavy year. Um, God, what episode was this? Episode 167, which was Lover, Stalker, Killer. Um, you were talking about the number one people also ask on Google for Buddy the Beefalo, Lauren Ash. The number one was how are Lauren Ash and Christy Oxborrow related? And I said, I'm honored, but I'm not crazy jazzed to be the first hit after the word beefalo. And you know what? I stand by that.
Here's an update on that.
Yeah.
That is a podcast that I recorded a long time ago, peak
Right.
pandemic. The reason why I couldn't remember what it was, it hasn't come out yet. I got a message about it and I can't even remember the name of the podcast. I'm so sorry. I will plug it as soon as I have the information.
Right.
And it's live. But the last I heard was it hasn't aired yet. So I was talking about that
No kidding.
story and thinking that it, of course, had already aired, and it had not. So that's the reason why, again, I was like, what was this from? I can't remember. Well, it's from an episode of the podcast that has not hit the airwaves yet. So there you go. And then that makes me realize sometimes that's what podcasts do. They record like a whole season and then they shop it or
Sure.
whatever. Unlike these two yahoos who are just cranking out content every week.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now,
and then we get sick and cough into the microphone. Like it's just it's just how what it comes down to.
it does. Now, I don't mean to call you out, but on my chart it says Lover Stalker Killer was 168, not 167.
It's
And
more than
I'm
possible.
what's that?
It's more than possible that I've just made an error. I would suggest I've made an error more on the card.
I'm not trying to
Mhm.
call out the error. I
No,
just
I
don't want
need it.
people confused. I don't want to get messages. You know what I
You know
mean?
what? Well, and here's the thing. Most of these, well, all of them don't even refer to the episode. So I don't even know why I'm saying the episode because it has nothing to do with that episode. They never do. Um like the episode where I misheard the Black Eyed Peas lyrics and said gotta get and then looked it up on the fly. Oh god,
And
let's
it's
see.
not that.
It is not that. I love that I can't even remember what it is. Um the one recently I said I was super into True Blood when it first came out, but I bowed out after a few seasons because I felt it got unrealistic.
That is one of my favorite things you've ever said. It's so classic. I love it.
It's just such an insane thing to be like, a show about vampires got too unrealistic for you. Okay, weirdo. Um, we talked about the Terminator, and one of us said, "Get your cock in my mouth, soldier," or "Get your cock in my mother, soldier." That's the most Freudian slip yet. Get your
I
cock
was
in
gonna
my
say
mother,
that's the one
soldier.
I remember, and it was get your cock in my mother soldier, but I love it. Listen, paint fumes Christy is a whole new gal. A
Yeah,
whole new
yeah,
gal.
I mean, you can't take her anywhere. You can't.
Well,
Certainly don't give her a microphone in public, 'cause
that's not something
whoa.
we've really done yet, and now I'm intrigued.
Oh god, I can't even imagine. We suggested an improv troupe name, Blunt Force Drama.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh god, I'm just trying to we also have either a band name or an album title, Courtroom Gaffes.
Courtroom gaffs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really like that one.
For some reason, I guess I like Timbaland because I said everything he touches turns to gold. I don't even know if that's true, but it feels true
I
in
think
my
he's a
soul.
very talented producer from what they say.
He is, he does seem to be. I like that you said your biggest fear was administrative buffoonery. I mean, there are just so many things. Um, oh god, you and your uh to the tune of the Timberlake song, you said dirty cop. And
Oh,
I mean, let's not. But I have a couple of favorites that I made sure to set aside. Um, back when I was getting the ding dongers at my door,
of course.
and I was talking about these children that I was considering my bullies, and I said, I guess that's where some kids get jollies, and you were like, get jollies, and I said, that's probably why they bully me. Oh god.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Also, this no clue. I cannot remember this conversation at all. But I said, "Yeah, some of the money is probably dirty, but it spends the same as clean." That feels like cookies.
And that's why they shouldn't be bullying you. Okay. These are,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If they heard this and the amount that my brain is like firing on 80 cylinders, I mean, maybe they'd give me a break.
Listen,
Uh,
speaking of breaks,
yeah.
let's take a quick break. We got to make a new
Hey,
cocktail. Let's take a break, hit the can, make our next festive drink, and we'll be right back with more shenanigans on Holiday Hootenanny 5 Dead Men Tell No Tales. All right, clap two on three. One, two, three. Welcome back to this episode of True Crime and Cocktails. It's, of course, Holiday Hootenanny 5 Dead Men Tell No Tales. It's clever to me because we talk about dead people. It's a true crime podcast.
Yeah.
Dead men tell no tales. On the contrary, we know that dead men do tell tales. Dead people tell tales. That's what, again, pathology,
Yeah.
autopsies, they can tell a story.
Yeah. Like whether or not a full human skull was inside a dog.
Thank you very much. I'm taking
Yeah.
this sweater off. I'm getting warm. Well, you know why? I'm getting boozy. I have an update.
Okay.
I added more cran to the
Yep.
previous cocktail. It did the trick.
See?
It's nice. I think you need an extra ounce.
So not a
Listen,
50-50.
not a 50-50. You need a little more sweet.
Okay. Well then.
And now it's quite nice. I
Okay.
really
Well,
like it.
I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. 2 ounce of the ginger, 3 ounce
Yes.
of the cran. And I'm just gonna leave it at cran.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well,
Now, this next cocktail.
yeah.
So I guess we also need to pick a name for that also. The cran ginger. Well, the cran
Oh.
ginger sparkler,
Oh, I like sparkler.
Yeah.
That is lovely and festive.
I like that.
Yeah.
This next one is also quite festive. It's called a polar bear, although there is a drink that's the polar bear and it's not this. So I feel like
Oh,
that's somebody's given this a fun name.
sure.
But oh my God, there's an ant. Oh, where did that
In
ant come
December?
from? In December? Oh my God, and I can't find it. Where's it going?
You're doing great.
It's absolute chaos. Yeah, how is there an ant in my house? That's bizarre. Anyway, I guess it's not um that cold here.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Um So this next one is very festive. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, for winter, I feel like, because look at this. It's blue.
That's nice.
And I've also
Oh, look at
added,
all. That's gorgeous.
isn't it? I should
It
photograph
is.
that.
You should.
You know what? I'm going to take a selfie with it right now.
Of course.
We can put this in the case file.
There you go.
Oh, get me in the good light.
Of course. It's amazing to
There we
watch
go.
a professional do this because when I'm doing this, it's a fucking mess. And I'll take like 8 and then I'll look at them and just go, "Oh, why am I so angry? Oh, what was I even looking at?" Like it's bad.
I'm just trying to make sure you can see all the garnish. There we go.
Oh, sure.
Cute. All right. So lots happening here.
Yes.
Do we want to try a sip and then I'll go through the recipe?
Sure.
All right.
I did go rogue, so mine's a little bit different
All right.
because of course it is.
Wah. Okay. That's sweet. That's very sweet for me.
Oh, sure.
This is 1 ounce raspberry vodka, 1 ounce blue curacao, 4 ounces Sprite, ice cubes, garnish with a sprig of mint and fresh raspberries. Obviously, that's optional.
Yeah.
It's just very sweet for me.
Oh, sure. Now, I did not feel like in this moment booze should happen for me.
Of course, you're
I was
ill and
like,
you're
maybe
also
not.
high on paint fumes and cold meds.
So, yeah. So I was like, maybe don't, whatever makes it so I don't say, put your cock in my mouth on
Well,
the,
too
on,
late. That's twice now.
I believe that's maybe 3. But yeah, so I essentially just took some Sprite. Well, first, I put some mint and some raspberries in the bottom of a glass and I mashed those fuckers.
Oh, you did a muddling.
And then I poured Sprite in and then I put in just some loose raspberries. And I'm going to say it, it's nice.
Oh, I love that. I wonder what
Because
else I could add to this to.
I feel the raspberry slightly tone down the sweet of a Sprite because I can't just sit and drink a Sprite.
No, same.
But that with the mint in it,
I will say this. I just muddled the mint and the raspberry like a little bit with my straw here, and
Yeah.
that has helped. I think the mint has helped. Now, here's a wild idea. Do I put some ginger beer in there? Will that help?
Interesting. Well, I was wondering if instead of the raspberries, I do the cran cherry juice. But
Oh,
again, it's the mint that I'm like, the mint is, this is refreshing. This is a
See,
very refreshing.
my gut, and I don't have it, I'd have to start over, but my gut is if you did the raspberry vodka, blue curacao, and club soda instead of Sprite,
Oh,
I think that would actually be quite nice. I think that when you add the additional sweetness, it's just a lot. I'm going to throw some ginger beer in here. I'm throwing caution to the wind. Let's see. Does this do something?
I like that you're just layering it all on.
Let's see.
I like it.
I just got such a straw full of raspberry.
Of course.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's a revelation.
Really?
Yeah. I think that the ginger beer actually works better in there
Than it
than it
did in
does in
the
the other
other.
one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So keep the recipe the same, throw in a splash of ginger beer to taste.
Of
I think that
course.
that's, and you know what I think we should call that drink? This
I
new one:
can't wait. I
raspberry
can't wait.
vodka, blue curacao, Sprite, ginger beer, mint, raspberry,
Yeah.
the onion. Why?
Layers.
Layers.
Like a cake.
I love that people are going to be like, the onion doesn't sound like an appealing cocktail by name.
Well, to be clear, I mean earlier I'd used this name to you like earlier when you and I were speaking that I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do that much booze," but I'm like, "I'll just add this stuff to the Sprite." I'm basically just making a spiffy Sprite. A spiffy Sprite. I think the onion's better than a spiffy Sprite.
I think we could also call it the onion bracket layers, and layers is in all caps.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I'm writing on
Listen,
8
these
different
are
pages.
successful though. I mean, ultimately to me, I really like the look of the onion layers. I think that
Oh, yeah,
it's quite festive and fun to look at.
I
That's
agree.
something.
Again, there's something what's happened is ever since the scoot, I can't
Yeah.
get past the raspberry or the mint.
The Scoot, yeah. The
Yeah.
Scoot was exceptional. That was year
Mhm.
1, wasn't it?
It might have been.
I think it was.
I kind of remember there being a scoot, but I remember being obsessed with it.
Yeah. I wonder what was in it.
I
Well, we
believe
know
it
mint.
was yeah, there I believe cranberry and mint, I think, or maybe just cranberry juice and mint. Yeah, God, I'd have to go back to check that old case file, I think.
Yeah.
I
It's a Cran Sparkle Scoot was
There
the
we
full
go.
name. And I want to remind you, this is the second time I've suggested the word sparkle for a cocktail,
I think that says a lot about you,
doesn't
and I
it?
think it's lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's not coming up. I like now that if you know a word that may be in a photo, in your photo out, you can search the word in your Photos app and it'll
Hey,
like scan the pictures for that word.
right?
That's fun.
That is fun.
No, not finding it otherwise. Not finding it in my email.
I mean, if I go back to one of our past, like we have to have posted the
Oh,
recipe,
yeah.
right?
Gosh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because it feels like that's something we would do.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just the amount of scrolling and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it was just Thanksgiving. Like
Yeah.
it's just there are so many the year's gone by very fast is my point.
It always does.
It really does.
Listen, we'll find this recipe. We can always repost it. We'll find it later. It feels like we can't waste the time now.
Oh,
We
what?
can't waste the time now.
They don't like this content of just us silently scrolling on our phones. It's an audio.
Audio medium. Um, well, we can't take the time because Christy has prepared a couple of things.
Yeah.
And what I like is that this in the description on the timeline includes this. There will be 2 rounds, both will be timed. which I could not be happier
What
about.
a psychopath.
I'm happy
Just
about it.
so fucking bossy. I wasn't like, hey, do you want to do this? I was like, so we're going to do this. It will be timed. Okay, drill instructor. Like, what's your problem?
But
This is supposed
listen,
to be the relaxing episode.
you also know full well that I live for it.
Yeah, that is true. That's probably why I
So,
went with it.
stop drilling. You hit oil. So listen, let us know what's happening here. This is a Christmas name game.
That's the working title. Yeah. Uh Specifically 2 rounds. Round 1 is going to be naming one person.
Okay.
I'm going to basically tell you um who the person is, and we're going to time it and see if we can get through. There are 10 of them. And we're going to see how
Okay.
fast we can get through them. If you don't get it, we can pass. Or I can also try and give you other clues. They will be paint fumed, so I don't know what those clues will be.
So to be clear,
Yeah,
you've listing 10 things,
yeah,
10 names, and you're just going to time it. We have an unlimited amount of time.
yeah. I was just going to go through one at a time,
Oh,
ask you, you answer, and then we go through till we get to the last one.
and then
Was the plan, but
when we get to the end, that's the
yeah.
time to beat. Is that what it is?
I say, well, because there is a round 2 which will be harder, but it would be interesting to see which one. I mean, I feel like whatever our score is in the first one, we're trying to beat that time in the second one, even though
Okay.
the second one is harder.
Okay. I mean, I'm game. I just didn't know if it was that we're that the timing, like, as opposed to a time limit, like see how many you can get in a minute.
Oh, I see. I was gonna say sky's the limit,
Great, let's do it.
and then we just we go. Do you want me to set a timer?
If you don't mind.
Sure.
Because
Here
I
we
get
go.
going with the laps and then because I'm already timing the episode and then I get going with the laps. Then I get confused.
Of course. Where we go? Stopwatch. There we go. Are we ready?
Hold on. Now I'm ready.
Okay. The Grinch's dog.
Max,
Yes. Tim Allen before he becomes Santa in the
character
Santa Claus.
name?
Yes.
I will not get that.
Okay, first name, high school boyfriend.
Scott,
Last name, Klein.
Kevin, Klein, Calvin,
There it is.
Scott
Scott
Calvin.
Calvin. There it is. The writer they bring in as a ringer in Elf.
Oh, paid Peter Dinklage.
Yes.
I don't know the
Okay.
character name.
First name, not kilometers, but
Miles,
yes. Last name is a bird.
Crane.
No.
That's Frasier.
Okay. We give her something other than bird. Um,
Stork.
No. Oh, I think there's a movie about a golden one.
Goose.
No, I thought that would
Duck.
help. I mean, because you got
Pass and come back. Pass and
Okay.
come back.
The caterer in Love Actually.
What I'm learning is not good at character names.
Okay. Sinatra. Think
Frank.
Sinatra. Lady.
Nancy.
There it is. Uh, you're gonna get this. Brad's mother's new boyfriend in Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, Brad's mother's new boyfriend, Sully.
Yes. The attractive head elf in The Santa Claus.
I don't know.
Um, uh, I was gonna. I think there's a dog breed with this in the name. Oh, oh shit. Okay, we have to pass.
Pass it.
Scrooge's nephew in A Christmas Carol. Flintstone.
Fred.
Yes.
Frederick.
The head elf in Fred Claus.
Oh, oh, the
Chili.
chili, cold, spicy.
Retro penguin chili.
Right. I'm really bad at this.
No, you're doing great. Okay. One of the members of Black Eyed Peas.
Will I am.
Yes, But if we were really close with Will I Am, what would we call him?
Will.
Little closer than Will. Like we're
Willie.
tight. Yes, Willie. Done. The Office Tart from Love Actually.
Oh, that slut.
Thank you
I'm
so
kidding.
much.
We're not slut shaming. But that's not the point. We're being timed. God, what is her name? I'm gonna need you to come at it another way.
Okay. Jovovich.
Mila.
No, nope. I was wrong. I was very wrong. Mila, but take out a letter.
Mia.
He got there. Brad's real name in Four Christmases.
Orlando.
Yep. Yes. Okay. Right. The writer in Elf, Miles something bird.
Something bird. Crow.
Nope.
Crane.
I'm
Swan.
trying to think. Part of the word
Mm-hmm.
is a measurement.
Miles. Meter. Millimeter. Inch. Finch.
Miles Finch. The attractive head elf in the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Starts with a B.
Brendan.
There, I wish.
Bobby.
There's also a character with this name in Love Actually. Not that that helps because we don't know their names.
There's so many.
Um. Okay. There is a dog breed, Saint.
Bernard.
Yes. Time. Okay. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but we have some time for the second
Well,
round.
the good news about that is that you said this next round would be harder. And to be honest, I don't know how that's possible. And I can't wait.
If I've learned anything over on Patreon, it's that I'm a lunatic when it
Oh,
comes to any sort of trivia.
you and me
Um,
both.
those ones, 4 minutes 6.
4 minutes 6. Okay.
4 minutes 6, which is great. Now I did warn you. This one's harder because each of these answers are going to be 2 or more people.
2 or more. Why am I
Yes.
writing that down? Like for who and what? Like I need to remember this?
I couldn't be happier.
Okay.
Couldn't be happier.
All right.
All right. Are we ready?
Let me get back into this onion layers.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I really like it with the ginger beer. Okay.
Oh, I've really set us up to fail. That's okay. That's okay.
Listen, what I am realizing is that if there's a trivia night at any point that's pop culture based, you're the who I want on my team because I feel like you're elite.
Oh, I mean, honor. Honor.
Yeah.
Um, I live for movie trivia. I do. Am I going to
I love
remember
it.
any of this later? No.
Doesn't matter.
Nope. All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The Four Griswolds.
Clark,
Yep.
Audrey, Russ, and then is it Elaine? Why am I blanking?
Close. Close.
Ellen.
Yes.
Sorry.
The sisters in White Christmas.
Oh, God. Well, I can name the real actresses. That's not the answer.
Rubble.
Betty
Yes.
and
Garland.
Judy. Of
Yes.
course.
Emma Thompson's kids in Love Actually. Here's a hint. One of them was also an elf.
Bernard.
Yes.
My horrible son Bernard. Yeah.
Yes. And
The
then
girl
there's
child.
she's a flower.
She's a rose. Daisy. Lily.
Daisy. Yes. The Wet Bandits, later known as the Sticky Bandits in Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I love that this is where I'm going with it. There was a 90s movie starring John Candy where the last name was Crumb.
Oh.
It was Who is Blank Crumb?
Oh, right. What
No?
was that though?
Nobody knows. So that was a terrible clue.
No.
Okay. Rhymes with Mary.
Barry. Harry.
Harry. Yep. Second one. Shorter, but like the Looney Tune Martian.
Martin. Marvin.
But shorter, a little shorter.
Marv.
Yes. Okay. You've got this. The Griswold's cousins.
Eddie.
Yep.
Oh God.
You're doing great. Like
Ruby Sue,
Zeta Jones.
Catherine,
Yes.
Ruby Sue.
You only needed the two, but I love you for go. I'm giving you an extra point for Ruby Sue. The Cranks.
Oh, oh, help me.
Vandross.
Luther,
Yes. And Efron.
Nora.
Yes. Thank God I know this many people. The Griswolds' neighbors.
I don't know. Todd, Margot,
There it
and
is.
Todd.
Kevin McAllister's parents on Home Alone.
Mm,
Pan.
Peter,
Yes. And Allie.
Kate.
Really dated myself there. Buddy's biological parents on Elf.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. Um,
Bob Newhart,
okay. Um, how do you get that word out? Um, Mathau.
Walter,
Yes. And oof. How do I get you to say that word? Um, if okay, we're gonna have to take a real leap here. Full paint fume leap. So in America, the
Mhm.
second someone ticks somebody else off, they're like, I'm gonna blank you.
Shoot,
Well,
kill,
ooh, legally.
Sue,
Yes. So if we take Sue and
Susan.
yes, there we go. We got there. This is the three girls that Colin meets in the American bar
Help
in Love
me.
Actually. Okay.
Rita?
Um, no. Oh, we're screwed. Okay. I dream of.
Jeannie.
Yes. Simpsons, Malibu.
Stacy.
Yes. Um, okay. This one's a hyphen. First one, Burnett.
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 Ugh.
Like the comedian.
Carol.
There we
Carol
go.
Ann.
There we go.
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann. There we go. And if you want bonus points, who are the other two? They're roommates. There
Oh,
was the sexy one and the
yeah.
real friendly one. Sexy
Mm-hmm.
one, the spy.
Who shagged me?
No, no, but I like where your energy's at.
Oh, Harriet?
Yes. And the real friendly one, God,
Carla.
yes. I mean, thank God, because my clue was going to be the last name of a girl I went to high school with. That would not have helped you in any way. That was 446.
What was our first time?
406.
Damn. Okay.
But I'm also giving you bonus points because you knew one of the kids that I wasn't even going to ask about from one of the cousins, and you did get the bonus points from the two.
Here's the thing. If
Yeah.
I wasn't terrified and trying to go too quickly, like I do know Love Actually, I think I should be able to get anyone from Christmas Vacation I should be able to get. Like they all are in my brain.
Of course.
They just were not, they weren't clicking. They weren't clicking. What
Oh
I
God,
love
when
though,
you're
and,
put on the spot, it's tough.
oh, I love it. I mean, I live for games. I love this shit. What
You
I
do.
love,
You
and
do.
you know that I have to say this, and I say it with nothing but love because I'm so charmed. What I love is you're like, how could I get her to say Susan? I'll go to Sue and then expand it. And I was like, Sarandon, Sarandon. But
And
again, you're on the
this
spot. You're on the
this
spot.
is following this is following me going, I know so many people.
Yeah.
Shut up, you cocky
you
bitch.
you did jinx yourself because you were like,
I
oh,
did.
I'm an encyclopedia.
Yeah, I really did. I don't know what I was thinking, but I got cocky. That's what I was thinking.
I'm
I got cocky.
living for it.
Well,
Listen, cocky you is one of my favorite things.
well, it's maybe just a paint fume situation today, or oh God, I'm just never gonna let down. I'm not never gonna let down. That's not. I'm never going to live down some of the things that I've said this evening.
Listen, you're
I
doing great.
refuse to say it again. I can't. I can't have that many
What, put your
times.
cock in my mouth, soldier? Was that what?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't have it out there that many times. Hi.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, the next thing that's on the list is something I'm very excited about, if I do say so.
Yeah,
You have put together a Christmas movie bracket.
I have.
I love this.
Oh
Now,
God.
for those who maybe aren't familiar, because if you're not a sports person, you may not know what a bracket is. But basically, it's a way to determine head to head two movies, and then the winners from each go. It's a way to determine what your ultimate favorite Christmas movie is.
Yeah. Now I want you to know on this extra paper, I wrote down what I believe the final two will be.
For you,
Oh, I think for both.
okay,
And that's a wild assumption.
okay. Well, I'm writing mine down.
I've
Well,
also taken a copy of this bracket and I'm going to post it
oh,
so that the people can,
you can print it and you can play along at home.
yeah. I mean,
Beautiful.
I'm going to put it in with the episode photos. Hopefully they'll be able to
Yeah,
see it.
screen
But
grab
yeah.
it, blow it up, print it,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fun.
or just draw one. If you see what she's done, you can just draw one on a piece of paper. You
Yeah.
don't even have to draw it. You'll see. You'll see. If you're not familiar, once you see the bracket, I think it'll be very clear how to do this so that you can
100%.
determine yourself what your ultimate Christmas movie bracket winner is.
Yeah. Well, we're starting up quick. These were put in randomly
Love it.
in an attempt to I'm just already scared at two beloved ones going against each other. Starting it off, Bad Santa
Mm-hmm.
versus Home Alone.
I've only seen Bad Santa once. I'm gonna say Home Alone.
You know what? Same.
Yeah.
Same. Okay. Okay. Charlie Brown's Christmas. I'll be home for Christmas. The Jonathan Taylor Thomas
Of course.
Christmas romp.
Has to be Charlie Brown. It's a classic.
I'm just gonna write Charlie. There we go.
What about you?
Um, I mean, I love a JTT. Yeah, you know me. Um, but I mean, the one I've year after year, it's gonna be Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Charlie down.
Yep.
All right. Christmas Chronicles or Jingle All the Way.
Oh, I think Jingle All the Way.
No kidding.
I have not watched Christmas Chronicles,
Got it.
and I think there's something that is charming about Jingle All the Way. I do enjoy it.
Sure. Look, the only thing I'm gonna say about Christmas Chronicles, lovely, but it really takes you out of it in a moment because he uses the word fake news.
Oh,
Because they were
wow.
they were obviously going for a thing at the time and they were like, fake news. And I was like, nope, nope. And I
Yeah.
that moment just makes me go, oh God. But either way. A Christmas Story,
Hmm.
Last Christmas. I don't know if you've seen Last Christmas.
That's, yes, the one with Henry Golding.
Oh yeah. I my voice is particularly deep at this moment, but that worked for
Yep.
that.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And trust me, I've seen it. This is an easy one for me. It is Last Christmas. I don't love A Christmas Story.
I'll say it. I think A Christmas Story is more nostalgic for people who watched it as a kid because I
Yes,
watched it once as an adult and I didn't love it. If you loved it, I love that for you. But you know,
100%.
just not. And so yeah, I'm going Last Christmas because
I really liked
that.
Last Christmas too. I thought it was
Yeah,
like there was a lot of heart. I thought it was like really well performed. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Genuinely, not just for Henry Golding.
yeah, which lovely.
Yeah.
But it was something different.
Hmm.
It was something different, and I liked that. Christmas with the Cranks, Nightmare Before Christmas.
This is going to shock people. Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh, that's not shocking me at all. I was already starting to write a K. But yeah,
I love that movie.
you
I
do.
find it very charming. I watch it every year. That's like a
Yeah.
favorite of mine.
I mean, that one has my birthday buddy in it, Miss Jamie Lee Curtis.
Of course.
Um, I think I've only seen it once.
Christmas with the Cranks?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to get back in there.
I mean,
It's so
You know
charming.
what?
And listen, I'm not Tim Allen is,
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. I love it for Jamie Lee Curtis. I love the
Oh,
story, and it's like just campy enough. Do you know what I mean?
oh yeah. Because that's what you want at the
Yeah.
holidays. You want to
And I just
shut
think
your
it's
brain
like,
off and just have some campy fun.
yeah,
Hence
it's
why we're here.
charming. It's charming. I think it's mostly for Jamie Lee Curtis, if I'm being honest. I really
I
love
love
her in
her.
that movie.
I do
Yeah,
love her. Because I've seen it more, I'm just gonna put Nightmare Before Christmas.
that's fair.
But I like where
I
we're
think
at.
most people
Oh,
would. I really am like, I love
well,
that. I love Christmas with the Craigs.
I went into this knowing full well how you felt about the movie.
Of course.
So again, but I feel somewhere in here it's gonna shock me. I bet what I've written down will end up being my last two, but I bet something's gonna shock me in here um about you, and that's what I love to see. Daddy's Home 2,
Hmm.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Daddy's home too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know.
People are literally listening to this, right? Going like, this woman has no taste, like no filmic taste. A
Oh,
classic, Miracle on 34th Street. And I'm like, yeah, but have you seen John Lithgow in
oh,
Daddy's Home too?
well, they can get in line because I feel the same way about Daddy's Home too. 100%. I watch Miracle on 34th Street. I've seen the original, but I prefer the 94 version. Um, with
Yeah,
that Dylan McDermott, Dermot Mulroney
of
fellow.
course.
But
I told you that I saw the two of them together once in LA, right?
right.
It was when we were on strike and I was heading to a picket line, and it was Dermot Mulroney and Dylan McDermott, and they had to know. They
They did.
had to know because
They did.
my head cranked twice. Like it was like a triple take. Which listen, typically you play it cool on those strike lines. Like there's always really famous people there. Like it wasn't that. It was the two of them together that I was like, that's
Yeah, that's gonna
incredible.
that's oh my God, that's what's messing with our timeline. They're
Yeah,
not supposed to be in the same space.
they aren't.
No.
They aren't.
But I love the idea that they're friends. Yeah, but yeah, it all comes down to Daddy's Home 2 is so perfect
It is.
in so many ways. And I just am obsessed with it. So yeah, that one was my winner as well.
Yeah.
This is people are gonna come for me, but I stand by it. Die Hard,
Hmm.
it takes place at a Christmas party. I don't even know.
It's a Christmas movie.
Muppets Christmas Carol.
Now you're the devil.
I know we're gonna get yeah, we're getting
But
there.
but unfortunately, it is a clear choice for me. Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wow. Okay. God, there's a meme that's like everyone's like, "Hey, it's a Muppet movie. This will be great." And Michael Caine is like, "I'm going to play this as serious as a car accident." And it makes me laugh every time because he brought his A game.
The meme that I saw is the exact same, except it says he's saying, I'm going to play it serious as a heart attack.
Amazing.
I
And
love
he
it.
does, and I could not love it more.
It
And
sells
nothing
it.
is cuter than those fucking little Muppet bunnies.
When I was just in Disneyland with friend of the podcast, Leslie Seiler,
Yeah.
in the one restaurant that we were having a drink at, Carthay Circle, for those wondering, they had a little glass case and it was
Uh-huh.
memorabilia from Muppet Christmas Carol. It was their little costumes. I can send. I'll send you the picture,
Okay.
but it is so cute. They had Tiny Tim's little crutch. They had
Okay.
Miss Piggy's wig. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. I was so charmed. It was literally like almost the highlight of, I mean, listen, the whole trip was great, but yeah, it was just this tiny little
Oh, that's
display. But
gorgeous.
they had Kermit's scarf, they had Kermit's little hat.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. They had Gonzo's hat. They had Rizzo's costume. Get out of town.
Oh, that's cute.
That was one of my favorite things that they've ever done there. It was so simple, but I was like, this is what people want. Show
Yeah,
us the goods. You own all the stuff.
I love that it took me over an hour and I was like, I bet that subtitles is like rustling into the microphone. Well, we'll find out.
I never heard anything.
I ended up going with Muppets as well because how can you not? John McClane might be a badass, but he's not going up against a Gonzo Rizzo pairing.
No,
That's just sorry,
nothing
Mr.
can.
McLean.
Nothing
Yeah.
can.
Elf or Office Christmas Party.
Oh, I really liked Office Christmas Party. I think it's really funny, but I am going to go with Elf.
Yeah, as far as like Christmas goes, I do feel that's the route. That's the route I took. But I mean, Jason Bateman. I I love that man. We were just texting about him the other day.
We were.
All right, flipping over to the other side before we then move in to the next round.
Please.
Ernest Saves Christmas
Okay.
or Love Actually.
Love Actually.
Yeah. And I love that not only am I feeling the need to circle these, I'm also writing just like half words.
Hmm.
That's where I'm at. The Family Man
Oh,
or Polar Express.
Family Man.
Same, same. And again, if you love Polar Express, I love that for you.
Of course.
I'm creeped out by it. I
I've
can't get
only
past it.
Yeah, I only saw it once and it didn't grab me. That's not
Yeah.
I'm not yucking anyone's yum. It just didn't
No.
do it for me. And I have a special place in my heart for Family Man because I remember being at the movies with my second high school boyfriend and uh there was a preview for that movie and I cried in the preview. I was like, "Oh my God, this looks so amazing." And then he's like, "You're crying in a preview." She's crying in a preview. And it's just like burned in my brain. So I have like a special soft spot. I also love that movie, but
Oh, that movie came into my life at a point where I was so obsessed with Jeremy Piven that it was like, this is perfect. It's everything I want it to be. And then, well, Jeremy Piven pivoted. Maybe he was always that way, but
pivot.
thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right. Four Christmases or Rudolph.
Four Christmases. And I know that's
Nice.
brutal because Rudolph is a classic. Don't get me wrong, but
It is, but
I
I have to agree. I have
I
to
think
agree.
Four Christmases for me, I it's such a good premise. I love the idea because it's
Yep.
so many people, so many families have these you got to get to each person's family. You know what I mean? Like it's such a
Yep.
real thing that I don't think we've ever seen in a Christmas movie before, but it's so real. Like, well, we got to
Yeah.
be at this place at this time, and then we got to go to mom's house, and then we got to go to dad's house, then we got to go to your mom's house. And like, I just think
Yep.
that's such a smart, and then I like all the details too about how they, learn things about each other. And I love the story, but I just think the premise itself, I'm like, that's brilliant. I can't believe no one else has ever thought of that.
Yes. And because Blanche is here, the opening scene between the two of them, I mean, yeah, that opening scene alone, I'm like, that's hot. And I love everything about it. And but my favorite scene in that whole movie is them playing games.
Yes.
It's yes, it's the couple who, I mean, they barely say anything and they know
Yep.
what, like, it's so well
Katie
done.
Nixon and John Favreau, because I know
Yeah.
actor names, but character names, what we learned earlier, not great at.
What I'm learning next year, make it the actors.
Listen, I
Oh
love
my
the challenge
God.
of it.
I'll tell you the actors. You have to tell me what movie it is.
Love that.
Gotta write that down.
Yep.
Oh, Fred Claus. Speaking of Vince Vaughn movies,
Love.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Fred Claus. Again, people are going to be like, this woman has no taste. It's
Nope.
a Wonderful Life, a classic film, but
Sure.
ultimately, Fred Claus, if you haven't watched it, that's another one that gets the old waterworks going for me.
Giamatti is one of the ultimate Santas in
And I think
cinema.
and I think part of the reason why is he plays it very grounded and real. There's some like comedic moments for sure, but
Sure.
much like the Michael Caine effect, I think because he's playing it so real that when there's the heartfelt moments, like you feel it. You're like, "Oh my God."
The Bird? I can't.
Oh,
I can't. Oh, I'm 100% on board with Fred Claus. And look,
yeah.
it's just because I didn't love It's a Wonderful Life. I know people watch it every year and I know they love it, but
I find it
not
very
for me.
depressing, and that says more about me than it does about the film.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Frosty the Snowman,
Okay.
the Santa Claus.
Frosty. Yeah.
Wowzer.
I've seen the Santa Claus many times, but I think I prefer Frosty.
Have you seen the like sequel to Frosty where he was voiced by John Goodman?
I don't know if I have actually.
I believe the little girl in it was voiced by Elizabeth Moss as a child. I do believe
Interesting.
in the sequel. Yeah. That came out like early 90s, mid 90s, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. The Grinch, like we're
Mhm.
talking animated 1966 versus White Christmas.
You're the devil.
Yeah. Well,
My mother is going to be very happy at my answer.
oh, okay. Well, then I know where you're going.
White Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's why. She loves that movie so much.
Mm,
She also loves Holiday Inn, which was the precursor to White Christmas. She'll be happy that I mentioned that.
of
Um,
course.
when I was a kid, she would want to watch White Christmas and I would begrudge it because it's like an old movie and who wants to watch that or whatever. But now as an adult, I always request it. It's such nostalgia for me.
Same.
Sure, one could argue that she really forced it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But you know,
But
she
it
she
worked.
every year she was like, "No, no, no, we have to watch it." And it did work because by the time I was like a young adult, I was like, "Oh, I of course we have to watch White Christmas. I love White Christmas."
That's nice. I
And
love
we
that she
know
pushed
that
it
Bing
enough.
Crosby is problematic. We know this. We
Oh,
just
sure.
can't. It is, you know.
I just like that she pushed it enough. She forced nostalgia.
Yeah, and now I don't have a year without it. In fact, it's funny. I was just thinking today, I was like, "Oh, when my parents get here, we'll have to watch White Christmas." I thought that.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
The Grinch from 2000, so Jim Carrey versus Spirited.
I never watched Spirited because I came very close to getting a part in that and I didn't get it and it's painful. I will watch it. I will
Of
watch it.
course.
I know
Of
people
course.
love it, but also Jim Carrey Grinch for sure.
Oh, all right.
What did you choose?
Final two. Oh, in that one, I chose Spirited.
Ah,
It there here's the thing. The first time I watched it a year or two ago, whenever it first came out, I went into it not knowing it was a musical. And so I was taken aback and I was like, "Oh, we're singing." Um and then I was like, "Why am I so into this music that I've never heard before?" Because it was written by the same pairing that did The Greatest Showman.
oh, this is a
And
dream for you.
it shows because there's like a lot of like almost like drum beat kind of sounds done with like them like clapping or stomping, and it was just like a beautiful thing. And so it's almost like Christmas Greatest Showman, and so I was very happy with that. And Olivia, Olivia, I'm right, aren't I? How am I not getting her last name? I better look her up real quick. I'm not getting her last name. I'm gonna just IMDb Olivia, and they'll be like, "You bastard! How did you
Olivia
not get that?"
Colman?
Am I not Olivia?
Newton John?
No.
Benson.
Oh my God. I don't know if I'm well. I think we already knew. There we go. I was way far off. Octavia Spencer. There we
No,
go.
there it is.
Jesus. I'm
Yeah, you're,
obsessed with her. And I
yeah,
think
she's
she's
amazing.
lovely in that movie. So, all right. Final one.
Hmm.
The Holiday,
Oh,
Christmas Vacation.
oh, Christmas
And I mean,
Vacation. I
yep.
love Christmas Vacation, but I love The Holiday. Every
Oh,
time
The
I watch The
Holiday is
Holiday,
solid.
I forget how much I like The Holiday. I've forgotten how much I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard recently Jude Law, aka Daddy himself, was Daddy Napkin Head or however he calls himself. Um, he went on a podcast and people were asking him about The Holiday, and they were like, "Oh my God, we're obsessed with her cottage," and he's like, "Well, it wasn't real." And like you could hear the scream of so many women who have flirted with him through a TV through that movie. And Jack Black, to me, when people watch that, I'm just like, how did that performance not get him more rom-com leads?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that was get out. Um, oh, this is tough. Usually the holiday I save as my finale for Christmas
Ah,
movies because it's not very Christmassy, but it's around the time of Christmas, but it just sends the season off. And it also ends with New Year's, so it just feels right. Um, and I love the holiday, but this is for the ultimate Christmas movie. I have to go Christmas Vacation.
of course.
Have to. Now, this is where things change up a bit for us.
Okay.
For you, Home Alone versus Charlie Brown. Oh, actually, same for both of us. In this case,
I am going to both great.
yes.
I'm going to say Charlie Brown.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. I went with Home Alone
I like
because I
that.
watched it recently and God, I was charmed.
Oh yeah.
And every single time we watch it, it's almost like a law. Every single time, I will turn to my husband and go, when I was in the fifth grade, I entered a contest to have lunch with Macaulay Culkin. And then I always let it sit there for a minute. And then I always go, I didn't win. He knows. He knows I didn't win. Because that would have been the first thing I said the day I met him. I met Macaulay Culkin once.
Yep.
It would be the first thing, like, that would have been the very first episode of this show.
I
You would have
like
been
the
like,
idea.
Christy Oxborrow, how you feeling? I'd be like, oh, as good as that time I met Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, if you had met Macaulay Culkin, I would have assumed that by now you would have had business cards made, and
Yeah.
on it, it's a headshot of you like this, chin on fist, and
Hmm.
underneath it just says, "Ask me about Macaulay Culkin."
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I close my eyes, I can still see the exact cardboard cutout, life size that was at our theater when we went and I walked in and I saw him and I screamed. I wouldn't have been able to handle a lunch. Get out. Anyhow, it's almost like I just forget that I mention it, but I tell it every single time and he's like, I know.
I love it.
I know you've never met him. And then joke's on me. Decades later, I'm sitting here going, if you asked me, gun to my head, who's my favorite Culkin? I'm gonna say Kieran.
Yeah.
He's aged nicely. That was creepy as hell.
Listen, you're high on cold medication and paint fumes, which I don't think you're supposed to mix. Do not
I
operate heavy machinery. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, thank God I don't have to be in a vehicle or oh my God. All right. This is where it changes up a bit. Jingle All the Way or Last Christmas.
Last Christmas.
And then mine is Christmas Chronicles or Last Christmas. Oh, I'm going, as much as I like Christmas Chronicles, the last time I watched it, which was just recently, there's a scene. uh, I'll specifically say there's a jail scene that makes me go, yeah, oh. So I'm for that and the fake news. I'll say Last Christmas. Uh, this this one's gonna hurt.
Okay.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah.
Daddy's home too.
My God.
Yeah.
I'm questioning everything I've ever known.
I mean, mine, I'm going simple because mine was Nightmare Before Christmas or Daddy's Home too. Obviously, Daddy. Daddy wins. And
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
thought
say
cock in
daddy.
my mouth was the weirdest thing I'd said today. But Daddy
I'm gonna
wins.
say daddy's home too as well, but that's tough. It's tough to cut Christmas with the Cranks.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Ooh. Muppets Christmas Carol
Mm-hmm.
versus Elf. Oh, mine's
That's
the same.
that's hard because they're both iconic Christmas movies, and I
Yeah,
love them both. I watch them both every year. I'm gonna say Muppet.
I like that. Okay, let's
You?
see. Oh, I love that not a single person has ever asked in the history of brackets for an explanation as to why you chose one,
No.
but I feel the need to always offer it because
Mhm.
I know I'm going to choose one over the other and someone's going to go, wait a minute. And I'm going to go, but I have to tell you why. Both are lovely. I'm going to have to go with Elf simply because I'm terrified of the ghost of Christmas past. The
Yeah.
little like floating girl.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It is creepy.
I can't. So I have to bow out of that one.
Fair.
Ooh, Love Actually
Mhm.
or The Family Man.
Love Actually.
I also love that that one was listed as love versus family. Same for me and same answer. Love
Yep.
Actually, 100%. Four Christmases or Fred Claus.
Fred Claus.
Oh, I like that. All right.
You?
Oh, I was the same.
Yep.
I have to go Fred Claus because even though Kathy Bates is very passive aggressive in that movie, you see Jeffrey Dean Morgan for a whisper, a wink of a
Yep.
time,
Yep.
and Four Christmases has a lot of extreme parents
Yep.
that I can't take. So I'm going Fred Claus on that one. Frosty the Snowman versus White Christmas.
White Christmas.
There it is. And then apparently mine is the Santa Claus versus the original Grinch. Fuck. I just watched the Santa Claus. Oh God, I have to go Grinch.
Mhm.
Classic. It's classic. Uh the Jim Carrey Grinch versus Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
I like that. Oh boy. Mine was Spirited versus Christmas Vacation. You know what? I'm gonna go wild. I'm gonna say Spirited.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, all right. Third round. Charlie Brown versus Last Christmas.
Charlie Brown.
Oh, I may be wrong in my prediction. We'll see. Mine's Home Alone versus Last Christmas. Home Alone. And you, oh, Daddy's Home too.
Mhm.
And the Muppets.
Daddy's home too.
Wow. Okay. Oh, I misspelled
This
that.
is personal preference, okay? This isn't which is a better film.
No, this is Lauren's
Personal
specific. Yes.
preference. Yeah.
Mine was Daddy versus Elf, and I went Daddy
Yeah.
again. I had to top to bottom. Um. Oh wow. Okay. Well. Oh no, we're still on that side. Love Actually or Fred Claus.
That's really hard, but I will say Love Actually.
Mine was the same and the same answer.
Yeah,
I mean, it just is what it is.
it is.
White Christmas or Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like when we get shocking. Mine was the original Grinch versus Spirited. I'm going the Grinch
Mm-hmm.
because that's what it is. All right. Charlie Brown Christmas
Mm-hmm.
versus Daddy's Home 2.
Daddy's home too.
Okay. I'm Home Alone versus Daddy, and let's just say it. Daddy's Home 2.
Yep.
Love Actually.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Vacation.
This is this is Lucifer incarnate.
Yeah.
This is Sophie's choice. That's so hard. But I will say Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Mine is Love Actually versus The Grinch, and I'm going with Love Actually.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you my prediction specifically, I believed we would both come down to Love Actually versus Daddy's Home 2.
Right.
No surprise, I did.
Yep.
You came down to Daddy's Home 2 or Christmas Vacation.
Well, here's what's ironic. I wrote down Love Actually versus Christmas Vacation as my final two.
And it
And then I
was?
went, wait a second, and I added Daddy's Home too because I was like, I forgot that that would be on there. Um, you know, this is also part of the bracket though. Like if they had fallen out differently, maybe Love Actually would still be in there for me. But Christmas Vacation versus Daddy's Home too, that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I don't know what to do. We've said recently on this show that Daddy's Home 2 is like the perfect Christmas movie. Just pluck out Mel. Like he's not
We
even
don't
there.
need him. We don't need
No,
him. But
we
that's not
don't
why
need
we
him.
like it. We don't like it
No.
for him.
Um,
Um,
but Love Actually,
is all around.
thank you very much. It's the movie I watch every Christmas Eve
Hmm.
automatically. Like it doesn't matter what's happening. I'm obviously gonna put that on.
Do you have your choice? I have
So
mine.
I can't wait to hear yours.
Here's the truth.
Oh boy.
At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
it's the only Christmas movie that I've watched so far this year. And I've watched it, I think, a couple of times. It's Christmas Vacation. It's probably a comfort movie for me at this point. I love it. I really love it. I also really love Daddy's Home too, and it is a very strong runner-up.
Well, see, and that's the problem that I'm having. Daddy's Home 2, superb.
Superb.
I love everything about it. I love Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg interacting. John Lithgow is such a fucking treasure. A treasure. Um, there's so much I love about it. And I know that Love Actually has problematic things.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I like to start the season with Daddy's Home, but I have to go Love Actually because it has the prominent place of Christmas Eve.
Of course.
So I'm going Love Actually because I often hear the soundtrack in my head
Hmm.
just randomly in a day, and it
And
does
listen,
uplift.
that ultimately is up there for me too. We do Love Actually cosplay every Christmas
We
on the
do.
show on an
We
audio
do.
medium. Like you don't have to sell me on Love Actually. We know, we all know it's very, polarizing. There's problematic elements. Some people hate it, but at the end of the day, I think there's some things that they just it's nostalgia. That's a big part of it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, listen, that was absolutely riveting. Thank you for your work. I am so jazzed to know that even when tested, I know that Christmas Vacation has to be my ultimate favorite.
I like that. I like to
Yeah.
know at the end of the day, what would you choose if you had to?
Yeah.
And I love going into this. I'm like, oh, it's going to be assuming that they're on different sides of the thing. It's coming down to Daddy's Home and Love Actually. Like I know that
I
because I
also want
don't
you to
think
know
either could compete with other
there was
movies.
one Christmas season where I was talking to a man. We were not dating, but we were talking. And he was like, "You love Christmas. Any Christmas movie recommendations I might not have seen?" And I said, "Yeah, Daddy's Home too." And I think it may be part of the reason why he stopped pursuing me. He was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, give it a shot." And he's like, "I'm not doing that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Anyway, that was close to the end of when we stopped talking. But if you haven't watched it and you're like, "What's all the fuss about?" We recommend. We highly recommend.
First of all, absolutely his loss.
Yeah,
Second of all, hey, do you have any recommendations? Yeah, there's this movie. I won't do that.
I know. I
Then
know.
don't ask for recommendations.
Yeah. But
Go watch
listen,
Die Hard and fuck off, man. That's
well, it's the holiday season.
then, yeah,
Listen, on that note, let's take
yeah.
one more break. Hit the can, grab another drink, and we'll be back for a little bit more on Holiday Hootenanny 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales. All right. Final clap on three. One, two, three. Welcome back to this episode of True Crime and Cocktails. It's, of course, Holiday Hootenanny 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales. What a romp this has been. Classic hoot.
Yeah.
Classic
Classic
hoot.
hoot.
But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about this. Um, Obviously, As I said that, Bean came in and just went like
Classic hoot.
classic hoot, man. If somebody's not half vomiting, we're not doing it right. Um, Now listen, yes, this is obviously coming out on Christmas Eve. Uh,
Yeah.
for those who celebrate and those who don't, it's obviously a big day on the calendar. And it is, of course, 7 days before an even bigger day, which of course is New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And I feel like, we need to just have a little reflection. We've given you some comedy, some laughs, and now it's like, you know, let's just
Mhm.
take a moment to be poignant.
Sure.
Christy Oxborrow,
Yes.
what are your hopes, goals, aspirations, thoughts, feelings about 2025?
Oh, I mean, I know I said it last year, but I'd like to have a more relaxed December.
Hmm.
That would be a big goal that I have, so I'm not running around at the last minute like a crazy person. Um, Show wise, I we are down to 7 states in the United States that we haven't done yet because we did 7 new states this year, plus a Canada and an Australia and like 5 other countries. But I'm like, we only have 7 states left before
Well,
I've
what
done one in every state in America.
Right, which people don't necessarily know, depending on when they came to us. They don't necessarily know you've been doing this. Christy
Yeah.
has this mandate where she's like, I want to cover at least a case from every state, which I think is so cool. Um, Obviously, our biggest listenership is, of course, in the United States. So that's
Yeah.
not to say we obviously do a lot of cases in Canada, UK, Australia. There's been lots of other countries also, but I think it's very
Yeah.
cool that you're like, let's make sure that we highlight something that's happened in every state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 7 feels like we should have that like by this time next year, the
Oh,
next
yeah.
hoot,
By next hoot.
it'll be like, hey, we finished that.
Yeah. Well, and listen, that's a goal. You know what?
Yeah.
That's an achievable goal. And there's one
That's
thing that I like.
that's what I like about it.
I like setting goals that are plausible, achievable, and realistic.
Yes.
It's great to have lofty goals as well, but I think it's nice to have some where you're like, this is something I know I'm going to be able to achieve.
Yes. Achievable. 7 cases in 7 very specific states in the
Yep.
United States. Lofty and talking out of my ass, relaxing in December. So I've got one of each and I'm really happy about that.
I love that.
Balance.
Balance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm going to spend 11 months lying to myself that I'm going to be either so prepared already or I'm going to dial back
Hmm.
at Christmas that Christmas will come and I'll be like, this is so relaxing
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah. I love that for you.
Yeah. I'm lying to myself and I know it.
I know.
Last year, I was sick as a dog putting together a gift for my youngest. And my husband came in the room and was just like, you doing okay? I was like, I can't. I could barely sit up. I was like, I need to lie down. I'm really last minute with this because I'd been so sick. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this next year. Well, guess what, Buttercup? Here we are. I'm not as sick now as I was then, but I know this. I know this is gonna go. This is going down like Kesha. I'm yelling timber.
Yeah. I'm so
Mhm.
sorry. I think
What?
you're probably right.
Oh yeah, there's no way I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, huh, I'm better or the same. Like I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and go, I can't move my body. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
do. I'm very Phoebe Buffet because with my lowered register, I am
Right.
feeling like it's the holiday season. Like, look out, blue eyes. But I'm lunatic. Just a lunatic. You're not Frank Sinatra.
Well, you keep huffing that paint. You absolutely will be.
I could be. I
Yeah.
could be. Yeah. Yeah. But that's where I'm at. That was a personal goal and a show goal.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Oh gosh. What am I going to answer? It's loaded. I think
I
it's
mean,
just that,
musically speaking,
oh yeah, definitely, there's lots coming up music wise, which I can't fully talk about yet. Um, but I'm very excited to keep on that journey.
yeah.
It's so much fun. Um, there might be some announcements coming in the next few weeks, so keep your eyes and ears out, especially if you live in Canada. Um,
Heyo.
hello. But yeah, I mean, one of my goals obviously is to release a full album in 2025, and I think that that's achievable. I'm well on the way. Um, got lots of stuff cooking, as they say. I think what else? I think giving myself a break. Giving myself a break. I
Huh.
think I put a lot of pressure on myself. I think I try really hard and I have not been necessarily my best self for the last little while, and I think it's just like you have to accept it. You have to just accept that that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, there was that quote that I sent you, which
Yeah.
I have printed off and left near my desk so that I would always remember. I don't know where the quote came from. Uh, your best is what you can accomplish without harming your physical or mental health, and not what you accomplish by disregarding them.
Oof, what a revelation. That resonates. It resonates. I said this to you, I think when you sent it to me before, it
Yeah.
resonates so hard because I think it's a generational thing too. I think people from our generation, it's like, how hard can you push? How much more can you do? Like, there's so much
Yeah.
of our, and I'm speaking generally, obviously, not everyone, but I think that our generation is one that it's like so much of your value and worth is by how much you've accomplished,
Yeah.
um, and how hard you work. And that's the thing that feels like is the most well regarded and the most rewarded and all of those things. And it's a lie. It's a fallacy, right? Obviously our worth is not tied to how much we do or how productive we are or any of those things. But I think that
Correct.
there's a lot of unlearning that comes with like that kind of discovery, which is that it's like, oh, wait a second, you mean that I don't have to kill myself in order to produce a certain amount of whatever in order to be like a successful human? Like, oh, that's a wild concept.
Yeah. I mean, here I am 2 years in a row, run myself ragged to the point of illness because I'm trying to make this a fucking magical season for a group of boys that I happen to have birthed.
Yeah,
And
which
it's
is
like,
beautiful.
does he need me to paint this fucking thing? Does he have to have it? No, but it's one of the top things on his wish list. And I'm like, I want to make it happen.
And listen, that's a beautiful thing.
I'm all about the joy.
Yes.
And that moment of joy he's going to have when he sees it is going to be beautiful. Fingers crossed, I get it done. But like, he's going to have so much joy. And then the moment I realize it's faded after a couple of weeks and he hasn't touched it in ages, that'll eat my soul. But that's later me's problem.
That's future use problem for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
For
that's
sure, for sure.
2025 me's problem. That bitch can handle it.
Yep.
She's tough. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, I think that that's the big things for me. More music,
Yeah.
much more music.
Thank you.
Used to be a channel. Remember when there was much music and then there was much more music and it was like adult
Yeah.
contemporary?
Yeah.
Um, wild. Anyway, uh, yeah, I'd like to also work again.
Of
Be
course.
nice to be on a TV show. I like that a lot.
Of course.
That a lot. Um, and then yeah, maybe this will be the year I finally travel. I never travel. I've never been out of North America. You know, maybe
that
this
is a big one for you every year.
every year I say it.
Yeah,
And I always say I'm also going to get a cleaning person, and I never do. I never have. I've never had a cleaning person. I've had people come in time to time. Like I've had someone come in and like clean both of my showers for me because I didn't have it in me.
sure.
But in terms of like a weekly cleaning person, I've never done that. And every year I say that this is my New Year's resolution. I've talked about it on the show, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And every year I don't do it. I never do it. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I think it's because I've just lived this way for so long. I'm like, well, and part of it's the animals because I'm like,
Of
what does this look like?
course.
Do I need to be home? Then it's like in the amount of time that this person does it, I could have done it. But I guess what I'm also hearing myself say as I say this is like, yeah, but maybe you could take the load off, you know, maybe take that time to do something else,
Yeah.
what have you. Um, but yeah, I think the bottom line for me is I'm just excited for 2024 to be over. And I don't feel like I've said that for a few years.
Yeah.
That I'm really excited for a year to be over. But the last quarter of this year, the last 3 months have honestly almost destroyed me. Without any exaggeration. And I'm so done. I'm so done.
Yes.
I'm so done. I
Yes.
mean,
And which I should say, and I should have said it last week, and my apologies for not. Thank you for being here. I say it.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Yeah. You know, it's interesting too. Very quickly. Obviously, I believe it was last week on the show. I love that I already don't remember, but I was talking about losing my beloved dog Fox, and I kept it together.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of the episode, we both lost it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I saw a comment. It may have been over on Patreon. I can't remember, but I saw a comment where someone was like, "I couldn't believe you were holding it together." Oh, here we go. Here we go, folks.
Hmm.
It wouldn't be a hoot if I don't end up in tears. Um, oh, God damn it. I saw a comment where someone was like, I was so surprised that she was able to hold it together. It wasn't being critical or anything like that. It was just a statement. And
Sure.
I had this moment where I was like, this is the side of this is the like, you know, Pagliacci, that famous story. I'm sure I've talked about this on the show before. It's in The Watchmen. They retell this story. That's how I know it. But it's
Sure.
basically like a man goes to the doctor and is super depressed. And the doctor says, "Go see that comedian Pagliacci. He'll make you laugh. You'll feel better." And the man starts to cry and he says, "But doctor, I am Pagliacci." Um,
Oh,
that is
sure.
like that's part of what my job is. In order to do my job, I have to compartmentalize. Like when you go into work on a TV show, especially, like there's no choice. You're not allowed to have a bad day. You're not allowed to be, you know, grieving. You're not allowed to like feel anything you're feeling. And I remember when Peaches passed, I went back to work and I was like, I don't like that I'm able to do this. Like it's so
Sure.
hard to like feel so much and not let yourself feel it and like keep it pushed down. But it's a part of what I do and have done for my entire career. It's like a part of what goes into everything. And so I appreciate the recognition, but it also like gave me this moment of like it is weird. It is a weird thing that like the people who provide entertainment have to do it when they're sad, have to do it when they're
Sure.
grieving, have to do it when their lives are falling apart. And like, you'll never know. And it's such a gift to be able to do that on one hand that it's like, oh, I feel terrible, but I can make other people feel happy. And that makes me feel a little bit better. Um, but ultimately, again, it's like a bizarre existence to like be able to even do it, if that makes any sense. Um, when also as an actor, typically you're more emotional than most. You have to be able to
Sure.
access emotions and be able to call on them in ways that typical humans don't have to. So it's a very weird cognitive dissonance where it's like I have to have all of my emotions available at the surface at any moment, but also I can't feel anything that I'm really feeling in my real life if I'm going through something and I have to push it down. So it does become like I often say without, and I am not being glib, there's a reason entertainers and substance issues go hand in hand. That you hear so many of
Sure.
those stories. Um, which is so sad to me, but I think it's just a reality when that's the like weird mental gymnastics and emotional gymnastics you're always doing. All of this is to say, get the fuck out of here, 2024. I'm done with you. It's over. I've had enough. I don't want to cry on the show. That's a show goal I have
Sure.
for next year. No crying on the show. How about that?
Oh, you're
I would
allowed to be
love
real.
I would love to be in a place where I don't feel like I need to cry. How about that?
Sure. That would be nice.
That would be
That would be
nice.
nice. I was going to try and make some sort of joke about this not being baseball. Um, no crying in baseball. It was terrible.
I got it.
So the only thing I can do because, clown, um, trying to lift up, um, I have two final quotes for you.
Please.
And it's one from each of us. And it's my favorite thing I think you've said on this
I can't
show.
wait.
And you have told me that this was one of your favorites, but that was at the time and that was a while ago. Doesn't matter. Point is, we were talking about Facebook profiles of the elderly. I had to write that down because your quote is, I only look, I never touch. Which again, one of my favorite things you've ever said.
Yeah.
And then I don't really like I remember it, but I also kind of don't. I assume it was somewhere in my notes. But from the Tall Hot Blonde
Hmm.
episode, I said his affinity for fruit would be his undoing.
That is my favorite thing you've ever said.
Yeah, because that was the something about a peach, right?
Yeah, I believe
He ate a
so. Yeah, it
peach
was
and
like a peach pit
then they
that they
found it
found.
like right at the crime scene
Yeah,
and it had his DNA in it.
of course.
So his affinity for fruit, there it is.
It also felt like the most of all the things you've written, it also felt like the most Keith Morrison.
Yes, because there as soon as
His
you hear it,
affinity for fruit would be his undoing. I could
it
hear it in his voice too.
it was that level that I was like, yeah, I'm trying so hard to write for another show. I'm like, hey, Dateline, if you need me,
Oh God.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I also just want everyone to know I have finished my onion layers and
Uh-huh.
I'm back to the cran ginger. I think
Oh,
we can't call it the sparkle because we the cran sparkle scoot is a name that we already have in our universe.
sure.
In our universe.
The
Um,
idea that we're like Marvel and we just have this never-ending universe.
well,
Well, in each
yeah,
different universe, I'm a different person.
you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I think we should call this one
Yeah.
the pour some sugar on me because it needed a little extra sweetness.
That would be Def Leppard.
Now she's just like ashamed of her Aerosmith gaff.
Yes. Not unlike courtroom gaffes. Any
Oh
gaff of
God.
my own is unacceptable. See, this is just like you're allowed to fuck up. I've essentially made a career out of it. We'll never forget a bag of worms.
Nope.
Um, and again, you just got to stop being hard on yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And to your point of like always feeling like you have to accomplish and be constantly doing something to make yourself worth as a person. Again, I'm so sick. Like for a second year in a row. I've also been so sick throughout this year, like off and on. So it's like maybe it's time to like chill out. Maybe I should add not just chill out December. Maybe I need specifically like take some more you time.
Yes.
Whatever makes you not crumble into some sort of illness that you'll potentially spread to your family. Because if this isn't gone, that means that my husband and my brother-in-law, bless them, are going to have to cook Christmas dinner.
I mean, I kind of would like to see that.
It would be it would be interesting. I'm not saying they're not capable. I'm sure they could do it, but I also feel they'd be like, "What am I doing with this?"
Well, this is the one time I really wish you'd had the kitchen in your home outfitted with hidden cameras because I would pay a lot of money to watch.
It would be It would be interesting. Again, I think they could pull it off.
Hmm.
I just feel that there's going to be some relief to know that I'm here and I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that they will help in some way, but they're going to be like, tell me what to do, exactly what to do,
Yeah.
which is fine. But if this lady can't if I'm sick on Christmas Day for another year in a row, again, last year, I went to bed
I remember.
after gifts and didn't get up for a full day.
I know.
I
I'm so
can't,
sorry.
I can't live through that again, but it feels like I am. And
Well,
that's on me.
listen. No, listen, this isn't your fault. You are a fantastic mom who's trying to make
Uh,
dreams come true. You're an incredible host of a podcast who's gone above and beyond and always does every week. And listen, none of us deserve you. You're an angel on earth. There, I said it.
well, I thought your goal was no crying on the show.
I said for me.
True. You also technically said next year, and we
Yeah,
haven't gotten there yet.
great
So,
point. Great point.
yeah, I just can't get myself to an emotional place because every time I glance at this Zoom, my eye is drawn to those dark fucking eyebrows that I've got to be Colin Firth. It's it draws the eye and makes me do a slight oh.
Yeah. I like that you have not commented on the fact that you're only wearing a wig cap. That doesn't draw the eye as
Yeah.
much as the eyebrows, which is great. But
Yeah,
listen,
the thing is,
it wouldn't
wig
be
cap makes sense.
it wouldn't be True Crime and Cocktails cosplay season if one of us wasn't in a wig cap by the end of a record. So that's
That's
lovely.
true. That's true.
Well, listen, Christy Oxborrow, thank you for your work on this episode and all year long. We are all so grateful for you. And listen, again, we don't deserve you. There, I said it.
Oh, there's no place I'd rather be. And again, I mean, this is all you.
No, no. Listen, I'm just a cog in the wheel at this point, and that's a good place to be. But listen, we thank you, dear listeners, for being here with us. We know that this can be a very hard time of year for many, many people, and I just want anyone who's maybe struggling out there to know you're not alone and you're seen. And please know that very genuinely, we're sending you all the love to get through this holiday, whether it's joyful or the opposite for you. And we hope that the new year finds you well. If you haven't already, give us a follow on the socials on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at True Crime and Cocktails, on Twitter at Not Detectives. If you'd like some bonus content, go over to patreon.com/True Crime and Cocktails to learn more about our subscription-based bonus episode series over there. And the only place for official True Crime and Cocktails merch is, of course, truecrewmerch.com. So check that out as well if you're interested. Christy, do you want to tell the people about the next episode?
Um, there's not going to be one for a bit.
That's it. That's it. Along the lines of someone needs to lay down, we need to give
Yeah.
ourselves a break. We
Yeah.
are taking a break. We will be back January 21st, raring to
Yep.
go. This is a great opportunity for you to go back in our catalog if you haven't listened to all the episodes, or it could be an opportunity for you to go over to Patreon if you're interested, because there is hundreds of bonus episodes over there. And when you sign up, you have access to our entire catalog and library. So just, again, not pushing, just offering that.
course.
If you're missing us for the next few weeks, that could be something available to you as well. Christy, do you want to say goodnight to the people?
Good night, Uncle Jamie.
Good night. I hate Uncle Jamie.